So as Mike's talking about, we've already seen the Twitter files drop in 4 different parts so far. The White House repeatedly dodging and even getting angry over questions in the White House press briefings.
I can't speak to decisions made by the campaign from here. That is not, it is a political campaign. I'm just not going to comment on the question that you're asking me. I've already addressed this multiple times this week, so I don't have anything more to add. We were not involved. I can say that we were not involved. And as I've said several times this week already, we've had this conversation many times in this briefing room, just the past couple of days. Don't have anything more to share.
And that's as nice as it got. Tammy Bruce, Fox News contributor, host of Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation. Not that she has to be nice about it. I would be careful with the words, "we haven't been involved," because she's been there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that certainly casts a broad net there when it comes to the government. But certain things are done so that people can have plausible deniability when they know something's happening, perhaps that shouldn't. But my main concern here is that I think it's very important for everyone watching this show and for just everyone in general to not think that this is just some kind of small, unique, weird little thing in social media that means nothing in the larger scheme of things. This is a giant issue, and it affects everything. This is just the one that we found out about because a private citizen who happens to have the money, who happened to be interested, who happens to care about free speech, thought it was important. When it comes to free speech in general in the country and around the world, that quote from that worker at that forum that you quoted saying this is
the message board.
The message board that this is wrong, this is a bad idea, couldn't have been more right. And you don't need to be a conservative to understand that. Classical liberals, that is the basis of what classical liberalism was about. And so this is a shocking strike at the nature of what's happening and because of the government involvement with this company implementing this.
Real quickly, a Democrat walking out Ro Khanna and saying that this was wrong. There must be more people behind the scenes who can see this. But why wait all this time for Democrats to even peek into this? Is it because they can't help themselves? The evidence is all over the place.
Yes, I think people look at where the tide is turning. People like the strong horse. People want to be with.
Where is the tide going, by the way?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. This is going to be up to the American people. Thank God, literally, for Elon Musk, because without him, keep in mind, all of this would still be continuing. Where have the Republicans been? Where has the establishment been saying, wait, this is wrong? They all fell into it either through silence or through participation.
I realize he's the richest dude on the planet right now, but do we need to crowdfund to help Elon Musk buy some of the other platforms so we can know what's happening at Facebook and Google search, since search blacklists for some of the allegations and evidence that has been found along the way by multiple journalists?
Yes, this is what Congress, though, should be doing. This is more than un-American. It is, some are saying, criminal, certainly unconstitutional. This is what Congress should say, enough is enough. They have to take a stand or it will never end.
Okay. Funny you say that, because we're getting a clear warning from the House Oversight Committee's chairman-elect, James Comer, that he is writing about in an op-ed called "Get Ready for Republican Oversight." So just what you're talking about. And on the list of top priorities, the border and fentanyl crises, pandemic relief fraud, Afghanistan withdrawal, energy crisis, COVID origins, and getting to the bottom of the Biden family's business schemes allegedly ushered in by Hunter Biden.
They knew that laptop was legitimate. They knew it was authentic, but yet they worked closely with social media platforms to discredit the story, to make up and say it was Russian disinformation. There's a complete lack of confidence in Congress with our intelligence community. They make too many mistakes, and now we just don't trust them. So we're going to bring them in, and they're going to have an opportunity to explain themselves.
Just real quickly, this all ties together with what we're talking about with Twitter, because the Hunter Biden story was suppressed there, the New York Post reporting. Those intelligence officers who pushed a Russian disinformation narrative around Hunter Biden's laptop will be front and center in the probe. And the New York Post cover this morning, eyes on the spies. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy promises accountability.
Those 51 intel agents that signed a letter that said the Hunter Biden information was all wrong, was Russia collusion, many of them have a security clearance. Why did they sign it? Why did they lie to the American public? A Clapper, a Brennan. Why did you use the reputation that America was able to give to you more information, but use it for a political purpose and lie to the American public?
Where are all of the people on the left who would say this hurts everybody? This is a damage to free speech everywhere. And, oh, by the way, if there's a connection between shady business dealings in the White House through the son of the president, we all should want to know.
That would be a natural, normal thing that you normally would have heard if this was the 60s or the 70s, everyone coming together yelling for this. But it's dangerous now. If you actually kind of say, wait a minute, right, this is not right, you either would be fired or you're going to be shunned or you're not going to get this next contract. So I would argue that even though we're not hearing voices, that the majority in polls show that the majority of people think all of this was wrong and should not have happened. But I would also caution regarding Congress, there are so many things there to look at because it's all been a disaster that you can get lost in the weeds. Nothing matters if speech is controlled and the government is involved in that control. They've got to be able to focus and have things happen. We don't want just reality television for the next 2 years. We want results and action.
Well, we've had a lot of that.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, and it's time to just get to the nitty-gritty now.
Right.
The Washington Post reporting on a big gathering of Biden family members and allies last September. They allegedly strategized against any investigations into the first son. It included research on potential witnesses against Hunter Biden, including his former business partner, Tony Bobulinski, and laptop repairman John Paul Mac Isaac. In an op-ed, Jonathan Turley goes after that piece, writing, "What's most interesting about the piece is why the Washington Post was given such access and such a detailed account. Generally, political operatives lay out scorched earth campaigns in secret, but someone wanted this campaign to be public before the House can call any witnesses. For key witnesses like Bobulinski, the message is about as subtle as a 2x4 to the head."
That's how it works. It's fascinating, isn't it? It's like, but they've had to resort to effectively public threats against people. And it's interesting, when did Hunter get all these friends? How is this that this guy...
Maybe his artwork is so good.
So, apparently so. I was doing that artwork, I think, when I was 12 in, elementary school. If you can do it by paint by numbers, it's not art. But or certainly shouldn't sell for $200,000. The fact of the matter is that this is about Joe Biden. And everyone knows that that's the case. They don't want to use his name, but they know what's coming up. They know what's in there, and they are desperate to stop it.
Wow. A whole time away with the fam, trying to figure out how to do more of what we've seen all over Twitter. Suppression.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you,
Tammy
ma'am.
Bruce, always. Thank you for getting us started this hour.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.